is here today to fill this truck up.
Today we're Target along with Channel 10 and Hurricane Relief, and what we've done is shop for toys.
The big Star Wars thing.
Yeah, we've got the expert consultant basically because we have not the best idea of what a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid down at Bay St. Louis is going to want. So we brought in the experts. Robin's got her kids, Russell's kids are here, Todd and his kids are here, and we're letting the kids pick $100 each of the kind of toys, the exact toys that they would want, and that way we know we're getting something that the kids down at Bay St. Louis are going to want.
Yeah, it's a good thing we brought the kids. Actually, I think we could have done it without kids, to be honest with you, with just, you know, Paul and Hal. They've basically taken the whole place. But, yeah, it's good that we brought along the kids.
Oh, a tractor. Is that something you would like, Brandon? Then I bet another little boy would like that as well, don't you? Awesome.
Okay.
What you want, Stuart? Stop right there. Let's pick him out a good flashlight. Look up here. You pick you one out. Pick you out a good flashlight. Where be you? You go pick it up. Yeah. That would be good. For like a brother and sister, or a couple brothers, that would be good. Can you put that in the cart for me? Thank you, Beth.
Making sure they work before we hit them, before we ship them down there. Is everything A-okay? Everything's working.
We spent about $9,000 in 2 hours, so that's a good hit there today. So hopefully that there's some children down there that will have a great Christmas.
Well, we just want to try to get this trailer filled up and make it an enjoyable holidays for the people down there.
Coming up on Live at 5, it's Thanksgiving time in Bay St. Louis. We'll join Ted and Robin live.
What's tomorrow?
Speaking of Thanksgiving, some kindergarten students put things into perspective.
I'm thankful for my sweetheart and Papa, Toki.
And we're thankful for Ed Rupp. He has your travel details on this busy day.
And they're not eating crow at Knoxville Zoo. One of their birds is in a major movie. Live at 5 starts now.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 5. I'm Russell Bivin.
And I'm Beth Haynes. We have got a great show coming up. If you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow and need some advice, stick around because in a moment we're going to talk live with the folks from the Butterball Turkey Talk Line.
You can't beat that. We will also go live to Market Square, which is turning into a winter wonderland.
But of course, Thanksgiving is our big story today, and they're getting ready for a big feast tomorrow in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, where some very thankful people are, thanks to your generosity.
Ted and Robin are right down there right now, and guys, good to see you. And what are the spirits like down there?
Pretty good, I would say, Russell and Beth. But you know, when you look around Bay St. Louis, Russ, you were down here a couple of months ago. Robin, a couple of months ago. I was about a month ago. When you look around, you don't see a whole lot of difference yet. The place is still destroyed. You have to really look closely to try to see signs of recovery.
That's what really surprised me, is that piles of rubble are still everywhere, essentially. But I think the biggest thing that we did notice was that instead of people living in tents, people are actually living in campers. These campers are set up in front of their homes, so they are essentially at home, just not actually in their houses yet.
To give you an idea of where we are right now, we're standing essentially right by Beachfront Road. This is Main Street, about a block that way. This used to be a nice beachfront restaurant and bar. That's the bay from the Gulf of Mexico here at Bay St. Louis. The road, Beachfront Road, is basically, you can see chunks of it ripped up behind us. An absolute mess, and the destruction here goes in for miles. You can see it for miles and miles.
We were coming in today, though, and I think one thing that was so encouraging for us to see, and hopefully encouraging for the people here, is that as we were coming in, big signs inviting folks to the big Thanksgiving feast and toy drive that we're going to have. The feast coming up, of course, tomorrow, the toy drive on Friday. We actually went to where they're cooking up the turkeys and all the fixins. It was pretty impressive. It's an army of folks out there working.
And it's an unusual combination. Those turkeys came from Arkansas. All the other food came from East Tennessee. Most of the folks fixing it are from the Jonesboro, Arkansas Rotary Club. So the folks from East Tennessee have gotten together with people from Arkansas, of all things, to try to help this town that once felt forgotten. Guarantee you, they're making Thanksgiving dinner for 8,000. Bay St. Louis and the area around here does not feel forgotten this Thanksgiving.
You know, and the need is obviously still here. We were talking to some folks. They're preparing for up to 8,000 for Thanksgiving, but on any given day, they're still feeding 2,000 people at dinner time. So it just goes to show you the need is still great. In addition to the toys, something that we're going to be showing you a little later, lots and lots of toys that you gave.
Oh, it's amazing how many toys there are, guys. We're going to be able to show you that later. We're also going to show you how people are bouncing back in their homes. And we're going to talk a little bit to the folks who are trying to fix this East Tennessee feast down here in Bay St. Louis. Russell and Beth.
Well, we look forward to talking with you guys more, and I know the folks there are so excited to see you all.
I think they're real excited by all the help that they're getting down here, and to think it's basically 3 months now and they still need so much help. There's really no place for them to go right near here and buy food. Even if their stoves and things are working, they're still relying on people to feed them and take care of them.
And I think that just shows you the magnitude of this storm. This storm was unbelievable. For you to be 3 months out and still in this shape, it's amazing. I do want to show you something though. This just really tells it all. Look at this building over here. It is essentially destroyed. But if you look up at the top, there you see the 2 dogs guarding the bay. They look as if they have not been touched at all. You can guarantee they saw a lot of water and wind during
Katrina.
Katrina.
Entire homes wiped out, and the bar's dogs survived. Wouldn't you know it? Russell and Beth?
That's amazing.
Incredible. And it is amazing to see the destruction still there. Guys, have they unloaded the toys, and are the toys ready to go?
Yes.
They certainly have. They're under a huge tent where actually a lot of the volunteers who are working here are camping out. And all you see when you go in are tents and toys and toys and toys. And we got some good folks from our station over there working hard. And I guarantee they're probably going to be working all night to get them ready for Friday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you guys. You won't believe how many toys East Tennessee gave to the folks in Bay St. Louis.
Totally awesome. That is cool. Guys, thanks very much, and we're glad you got there safe. Okay.
Thank you. We'll see you in a little bit.
All right. We look forward to it. All right. It's now time to head back to Bay St. Louis, where Ted and Robin are there, and they're going to be for the next couple days and getting ready for a big Thanksgiving feast. Guys, how's it going?
Great, Russell and Beth. Of course, Christmas comes the day after Thanksgiving here in Bay St. Louis.
And there are going to be a lot of happy kids here as well. Thousands of toys that you donated, that Target donated, are being sorted as we speak under a huge tent. We had the opportunity to go and check it out.
There's volunteers from Arkansas, from California, and the good folks at Channel 10 trying to get all those toys ready. They're working on it even now.
It's coming good. There's so much stuff, so we have so much to do, but we're separating it like piles of medium, small, and big gifts. So like each kid's gonna get one big gift, and there's gonna be like little stuff thrown into it.
And each kid is going to get a lot of toys. There are thousands and thousands of them.
And what was really neat as we were walking through, our kids had the opportunity Sunday to go and pick out some of these toys, and we were actually able to spot. I saw a doll that my daughter had picked out.
Yeah, you pick it up and said, Catherine picked this, and I walked around and saw 6 or 7 things that Keaton, my 9-year-old, picked out. So that was a lot of fun. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to do the whole news from here for you, and we're going to show you how some families are picking up the pieces of a historic home.
That's right.
So they can stay.
Nearly 3 months after the fact, and they're still, as you said, picking up the pieces, but they say they're staying right here in Bay St. Louis. Guys, back to you.
All right. We look forward to seeing you guys at 6 o'clock and watching the faces of the kids over the next couple days. Thanks very much.
We've got some good news for some hurricane evacuees still living in Tennessee. FEMA just extended the hotel living program through January 7th for 10 states, and that does include the volunteer state. This means FEMA will continue to pay for hotel stays for evacuees through the holidays.
Now, we are basically on the beachfront road in downtown Bay St. Louis, just to give you an idea of where we are. We're sitting on top of the road, which for the most part is just a crumbled mess right now, right in front of the bay in the Gulf of Mexico. You can see what a mess the beach is. That used to be a waterfront restaurant and a place to eat. People now are living in trailers in their front yards, doing whatever they can to try to stay in Bay St. Louis and still able to live here, despite the fact that most houses are uninhabitable.
But they are trying to rebuild, and we've got the story of one man right now.
There was a park. It was paradise. We don't realize what you have until it's gone. Come here, let me show you what I found. Our antique windows in the front part of the house. We're just trying to find little pieces of our lives. When it happens to everybody, there's no place to turn to. The first 12 days here, we were here. We didn't see a FEMA truck. We didn't see a Red Cross truck. What saved us and saved everybody was the church groups. We only think about it week to week, because if we think about it any further than that, we get so depressed. We have lots to be thankful for. I'm thankful for my daughter here, who's never complained once.
I tried to keep my feelings to myself because I didn't want to put more burdens on my parents. People at school are like, "You're going home for Thanksgiving." I'm like, "Well, I'm going to see my family, but I'm not going back to a home."
We've kind of made a vow with like little kids. We've made a vow that we're all going to stay and build back.
And this man was the first person in Bay St. Louis to have his mailbox set back up, and he is now getting mail. Life getting back to normal somewhat.
Slowly. So slowly, though, to see signs of reconstruction, you really have to look closely because it's just amazing how much destruction is still here. A lot of volunteers down here who are helping to clean up and helping to feed and do so many things, but really no places for them to stay. There are no hotels, no swimming pools for them to play around in. What there are is basically tent cities like this one. This one's on the beach. It stands in what was a little park. A lot of church groups from all over the country are staying here. The conditions are not fantastic. Big open tent with rooms partitioned off inside. There's no heat. It does get cold here at night. It was comfortable, 70s during the day, but very cold last night. Some of our crew stayed there. Real bathrooms, but no hot water. There's a trailer for a kitchen, a tent for dining room, and for worship.
Well, the Thanksgiving table is already set at one of this town's most historic buildings. Volunteers made sure that tables and tents were spaced just right in front of the Bay St. Louis Depot. Now, the depot was the setting for the movie This Property is Condemned, starring Robert Redford and Natalie Wood. I did not know that. It was one of the few public buildings still intact. Tomorrow it will accommodate as many as 8,000 diners. The food is being cooked next door at the Calvary Chapel Relief Tent.
Also in that same area, folks are sorting through all the toys that East Tennessee donated. They're trying to give toys to 1,000 kids, and each kid is going to get a whole bunch of toys. We have that many. They are piled high in a space that volunteers normally use for sleeping. Today it is a toy store, and it's going to be that way at least until Friday. We give those toys out Friday morning, and we're so excited about that. We want to thank you, East Tennessee, for all the toys you gave and for all the food you gave, enough that we will likely be able to feed 8,000 people if there are that many who want to come and have Thanksgiving with us.
That's right, and it is amazing. They have essentially an army set up, getting the preparations underway for tomorrow. It is very exciting. The one thing we were excited about as we were coming in today, seeing the signs, inviting folks to the free Thanksgiving dinner here.
We do expect a lot of folks, and how do they get that stuff prepared? How do they get the turkey fixed? That's what's coming up on 10 News. We're going to show you how the good people are helping out to bring people closer together here on the Bay.
Plus, some generous folks in Knoxville are making sure people in need get a great holiday meal as well. We will be back from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, right after this.
Straight from the heart of East Tennessee, this is the evening edition of 10 News.
And welcome back to Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. This is what the town looks like nearly 3 months after Katrina. Rebuilding is happening. It's very slow, but it is happening here.
It's kind of fun partnership that we have here for this Thanksgiving dinner that we're preparing for tomorrow. Channel 10, East Tennessee, has teamed up with a group from Jonesboro, Arkansas, and another group from California. And we are getting a huge Thanksgiving dinner together. We hope to feed 8,000 people tomorrow. How do you get all that food ready? Take a look.
Rub it on the inside like there's no tomorrow.
Big Al Fanis has a big job ahead of him.
No need no stirring.
Okay.
Okay, just let them tickle everybody in there.
By noon tomorrow, Big Al has to have Thanksgiving dinner ready for 8,000 people.
I have a catering business back here in California. The most I've ever cooked for is 800. This is going to be interesting.
He's got plenty of food, most of it donated by East Tennesseans.
Let's bend these wings back.
A couple drying.
Because when we put them in the deep fryer, they won't hang up on the pops.
And lots of volunteers.
We are injecting some flavoring into these turkeys for tomorrow.
Okay. How many have you done so far?
This is my first.
So it's a neat opportunity we've been given, and we're down here taking advantage of that.
And what they lack in expertise,
I have never cut ham before in my life.
They share in purpose.
People need a lot of help down here, and that's what we come down here for.
It's not actually about coming down here and doing the work. It's about having the opportunity to just extend the love that the Lord's given us.
It's a labor of love that still has a long way to go.
I'll sleep real good tomorrow night.
And they are going to be working probably all night tonight. There's so much food for them to cook. They're going to put it into trucks tomorrow, move it a block or two to the depot to a special spot that is set up now for the meal tomorrow. And we expect to see a lot of happy folks. And thanks to you, East Tennessee, they're going to have a lot to eat.
Well, some folks in Knoxville got a delicious surprise this morning. Members of the Community Involvement Group and KCDC took Thanksgiving baskets to people in need. Families who can't afford a Thanksgiving meal will get a basket complete with a turkey and all the trimmings just in time for the holiday.
Here, it's windy. It's getting down to the 50s. There comes a big old gust, but we hear there's the potential for more snow in the forecast in East Tennessee. Coming up on 10 News, we're going to go back to good old East Tennessee and talk to Todd Howell, get his forecast.
And you know, it's never too early to be thankful. Later, Ken Schwall shows us what folks in Knoxville are most glad to have. We'll be back from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
As 10 News anchor Robin Wilhoit shows us, preparations could last all night.
The night before Thanksgiving, and hundreds of people come through this food line for dinner. Tomorrow, it could be thousands. The volunteers here at this makeshift kitchen will be pulling an all-nighter, getting Thanksgiving dinner ready for up to 7,500 people here in Bay St. Louis. The turkey is cooked, all 500 pounds of it.
And we'll be spending the night tonight getting those carved up and ready to go for tomorrow. And then we have some pots ready to go. We're going to start cooking our greens tonight because they take a long time to cook. So we have some smoked turkey in here and stuff like that for our greens.
Everyone here in the kitchen is a volunteer. 13-year-old Artie Rose came all the way from California to serve Thanksgiving dinner.
It makes me feel like Christmas is coming, like it's Christmas because I get to help people.
By feeding the body and the soul. In Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, Robin Wilhoit, 10 News Night Beat.
And dinner will be served at 11 in the morning and will keep going until everyone's full. And the day after the Thanksgiving feast, Christmas comes for the kids of Bay St. Louis. All the toys have been donated by East Tennesseans, and as 10 News anchor Ted Hall shows us, there are so many toys, extra volunteers will be needed to hand them out.
We're in kind of a tent city. This is where a lot of the volunteers here who are helping out in Bay St. Louis spend their nights, and they've been here for quite a while. But in the middle of all these tents is Christmas. This is the finished product. All the toys you gave at East Tennessee are bagged up. Each kid is going to get a bag and a big toy. Tom McQuilkin is from East Tennessee. He's down here at Bay St. Louis tonight, just a volunteer.
Well, I saw your story, and my wife and I decided we'd come down and spend Thanksgiving here.
You came down just to volunteer, just to help out, and said, what can I do?
That's what I did. That's what I did.
And look, I mean, they've been working on this all day long. Look how many toys are still ready to go here. Hey, my 9-year-old picked these out, by the way, and I'm proud of you, Keaton. Good job. Instead of just having 1,000 Bay St. Louis kids come running in here and grabbing and fighting over toys, there's kind of a system. Michelle, what's the system? How are you working this out?
Okay. What we are doing is we're starting with stocking stuffers.
How many big toys and things like that is each kid going to get?
They'll get 4 stocking stuffers, 2 medium-sized toys, and they get to pick their very own big toy.
That present pile just keeps getting bigger. The fun work is still a day away. In Bay St. Louis, Ted Hall, 10 News.
And Ted and Robin will be up bright and early in the morning bringing us live reports from Bay St. Louis, and the crews will also be handing out about 70 bicycles on Friday.
Robin Wilhoit and Ted Hall join us again live from Bay St. Louis this morning. Good morning once again.
Ben, thanks a lot. They are rolling Christmas and Thanksgiving all into one thanks to East Tennesseans. The generosity of you folks is making it possible. And of course, there are other folks down here helping as well. But they're right now still, they've been working for hours. In fact, they've probably been working for a couple of days now, cooking up all the Thanksgiving meal. And there's still a lot more work to be done there.
Now, speaking of generosity, all those toys that you donated, well, Toyland is back behind us in a tent. We went in there yesterday, and truly there was like this mountain of toys. Some good folks folks from Channel 10 spent all day yesterday sorting them, getting them ready, and the kids will actually come through starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow. They're going to get a huge bag full of stocking stuffers, toys, and then they get to pick out one very special toy for themselves.
There were so many toys. It really was a daunting task because you folks gave so many toys, but basically what they did is we divided them up into younger girl, younger boy, older girl and older boy, and that way they've, instead of just letting the kids just run in there and start grabbing things and making it look like a war zone, they already have gift bags set up. But then the kids will get to pick their big toy, and I think that's going to be real exciting.
You know, something to add as far as the food that's going on here. Obviously what you see, Thanksgiving dinner being prepared, but the folks here are also going to be providing breakfast as well. So basically the people of Bay St. Louis are being fed wonderful meals, and especially today they're getting that Thanksgiving meal that they so deserve.
Yeah, and Robin was telling us earlier that it's not going to be a little buffet line where they get some turkey flopped onto their plate. They're going to sit down and they're going to be served, and it starts in about 5 hours from now. A lot of work to be done until then, Ben.
All right, thank you so much. It's all so impressive. We'll check back with you a little later. 10 News anchors Robin Wilhoit and Ted Hall are in Bay St. Louis this morning, and they join us live. Hey, guys.
Hey, Ben, you know, the next time you see us tonight at 6, there should be a lot of full bellies here in Bay St. Louis because there's a lot of food that's being cooked right now, getting ready for the big feast. It starts at noon today, and basically they're going to be feeding people as long as they are here.
And it's real food. There's, real potatoes in the mashed potatoes. Come on over here, Robin. Sweet potatoes. This guy's just trying to make sure they don't stick to the bottom, so there's no burn. Green beans, a lot of work to be done on the green beans.
And the man who is making this happen, Big Al Fanis from California. Big Al, how many hours are you going on now as far as getting this together?
I've been up since 5 o'clock yesterday morning.
And you've been here working nonstop?
Yeah, I haven't went to sleep yet.
You know, Al, we said you are a caterer by trade.
Yes.
How many people have you served before? What's the biggest crowd, and have you ever expected anything like this?
800 people.
And you're expecting thousands possibly today,
Yeah,
right?
7,500. Never done nothing like this. Never thought I'd ever be in Mississippi cooking on the Thanksgiving Day, but it's a blessing. I got a lot of awards in my life, but this is it.
Why are you doing this? I mean, you're going on 24 hours straight work, and the real work hadn't even started. We still got to serve the dinners.
Well, the Lord said, feed my sheep, and that's what I'm doing. I just couldn't be at home Thanksgiving Day, knowing these people down here in the evening. And I do it because I love God and I love His people.
And I think that really speaks to Thanksgiving right there.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Big Al, we thank you so much for all that you're doing, and I know it's a blessing for all the folks who will be here today.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
God bless you.
You too. Have a good day. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, let me
Well, this is truly what it's all about. This is about people helping people and being thankful for what we've got.
Next time we talk will be 6 o'clock tonight. We're going to be able to show you exactly how this Thanksgiving feast was accepted here in Bay St. Louis. We expect there could be 7,500. We don't know. That's how much food there's going to be. So Robin is going to have seconds and thirds and fourths because there's probably going to be some left over for you.
You know, let's face it, we've sampled some this morning, sampled a little bit of the bacon. It's pretty awesome.
Good
Thumbs
stuff.
up.
Yeah, and it seems like everybody has
for you tonight.
Great. Everybody has a nickname down there. You all need to come up with some clever ones yourselves, all right?
We'll try. Good evening, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. Ted Hall in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
And I'm Robin Wilhoit. Coming up, we are going to spend a very special day with the folks in this small Gulf Coast town.
We're also going to see what you folks back in East Tennessee have been doing on this Thanksgiving Day. Hopefully you're having a good one.
And now that the big meal is over, it's time to think about shopping. Of course, we're going to tell you why you may want to be careful if you buy your gifts online.
All this and a lot more coming up from Bay St. Louis.
You are watching WBIR TV, Channel 10 Knoxville. The news starts now.
Things are hard.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody in Knoxville.
Tell you what, folks, it is not an exaggeration to say that the goodwill of East Tennesseans is oozing all over Bay St. Louis. Good evening, I'm Ted Hall.
And I'm Robin Wilhoit. They estimate they fed 3,000 people Thanksgiving dinner today. Whether they came here to this wonderful site, whether they took it home to eat with their families, or whether it was delivered to them, I guarantee there are a lot of happy people in Bay St. Louis tonight.
Thousands and thousands of meals. You know it took an awful lot of work to get it all ready.
They've been planning this for weeks, cooking for days. Today is Thanksgiving.
Volunteers were up early this morning trying to make sure everything was ready, and there's a lot.
This is Cajun-injected fried turkeys, deep-fried turkeys.
Those boxes, crates, and pans are full of more turkeys and all the trimmings for thousands of people. They're loaded up and taken down the street where dinner will soon be served.
All that food and only one minor mishap. Some cranberries hit the ground. Everything else hits the tables. More volunteers arrive from Tennessee, California, Arkansas, New Jersey, even Japan, all here for one purpose.
And we're just here to help out and try and bless people for Thanksgiving and make them happy. Just here to give instead of just receive, because we're blessed.
Finally, a word of prayer.
We offer our thanksgiving to you. In Jesus' name, and everybody agreed, saying, Amen.
A word from the mayor.
I can't say thank you enough.
And it's time to get started.
Let's go to work. Bless you guys.
This was a special kind of a Thanksgiving dinner. The people were served. They said they didn't want the people, hurricane survivors, who've been victims and waited in line for services for the last 3 months, to have to wait in line again for a very special meal. They wanted this to be the best day in Bay St. Louis in months.
So it was a big wave that came in over?
Oh, mercy, 32 foot.
Oh my gosh.
Bay St. Louis came together today.
It takes something like this to bring people together, and we can all sit down and enjoy a Thanksgiving meal together. And it kind of takes your mind off of the tragic things that have happened, and it makes you feel good.
You guys need anything to drink over here? No, thank you. You're in good shape? Okay, you do. I think, was that sweet tea? Okay, sweet tea and water. A rare day of happiness here. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
This was literally a day that brought people to tears of thanks.
Thank you. Enjoy your pie.
It's been the support of all the people from all over the country who've come in to help us that has made a tremendous difference.
Turkey even was good? Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah, Knoxville. We had a bunch of folks up there who donated a lot of the food that you guys ate today.
Y'all are the only reason the Bay is here.
She means the volunteers, all the volunteers who've cooked and served for days here. How was the food? How was the food?
Food was delicious.
Good.
Very good.
Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Thank you. Forgive me, but you're tearing up. I mean, this has really got to mean something to you.
Oh, yeah. Means a lot.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody in Knoxville.
There's such a feeling of appreciation. We're going to show you more of the special Thanksgiving celebration here in Bay St. Louis coming up in a few minutes. A lot of folks from East Tennessee have helped out with this and Christmas that we're going to have tomorrow. Heartland Transportation is one group that helped us bring all the food that East Tennessee donated and all the toys that you donated. Larry Miller is one of the drivers. He's from that company. He brought his son Brandon down here and his lovely wife, and they just wanted to look around just to make sure everything they brought was okay, to make sure they did a good job. But what a great story. We were having a hard time finding somebody to bring all of this stuff, and it was a huge truck full down here. Well, Heartland Transportation steps up and says, you know something, we'll do it. We say, we've got $3,000 to pay you. They say, no, use that $3,000 and buy more toys for the kids. They also gave us $1,000 on top of that. Plus, they didn't have the right truck at the time. We needed a refrigerated one. They found one at one of their competitors, J&S, and they loaned it. Just a whole lot of work went into it. We want to thank you guys for doing so much, but there are a lot of other folks we need to thank.
There certainly are. We want to send a big thank you out now to Food City, Davis Newman Payne, Heartland Transportation, J&S Trucking, Target, Toys for Tots, Boyd's Bears, Barnes & Noble, Cedar Springs Christian Stores, Westtown Mall, Knoxville Center, and the Anderson County High School French Club, and anyone else who has contributed to make this possible. Thank you very so much.
We do appreciate it. How about the Vols? Man, oh man, they've got to win Saturday to avoid finishing last in the SEC East. And the Lady Vols basketball team, they're in the Caribbean, I think. We got that coming up in sports.
Straight from the heart of East Tennessee, this is the evening edition of 10 News.
We are here live at the depot in Bay St. Louis, and as we said before, thousands, they say about 3,000 people actually came here and they had their Thanksgiving feast, but hundreds actually came here and took their meal home to enjoy with their families.
They have a takeout and delivery service. You know, if you came and stayed, you had entertainment, you had games for the kids. There was an awful lot to do, but a lot of folks came, grabbed a meal and went home. In fact, a lot of folks came and grabbed meals for all their friends. They grabbed up to 20 at a time. They were trying everything they could to make this as easy on the people of Bay St. Louis as possible. Everything was free. They just wanted to give them something special, and I think it worked.
You know what? There are a lot of people, though, who just simply could not get out here to get a meal. So some great volunteers actually took Thanksgiving to them, and for one woman, it was one of her first meals since she's come back home to Bay St. Louis.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, sweetheart.
It's a Thanksgiving unlike any other these senior citizens have experienced in their long lives.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that.
Thanksgiving dinner sent from East Tennessee, delivered by volunteers to the people at the senior citizens' home. Katrina swamped it. The first floor stripped to the steel beams now, all their belongings thrown out. Margaret Lee returned home less than a week ago.
I still wanted to come home to what was left and stay here. I've been here 70 years.
After the hurricane, Margaret was evacuated to Idaho, but couldn't wait to get back home.
This is home. This is home, the penthouse.
It's basically bare. The 300 angels she collected are gone. But like her life, she's starting her collection over with this one she was given before she left Idaho.
Now, this is a special angel right there. That was given to me by the nurses at St. Luke's Hospital.
And that's a special angel?
That's a healing angel. Everybody's got to go an angel that watches over you.
Who have been your angels?
The outside people, the people that come and help me. And people that I've never seen before have done nice things for me.
People like volunteer Richard Williams, who's making his 4th trip here on this Thanksgiving since Katrina hit.
We become part of the community. I don't view myself anymore as an outsider. When they picked me up at the airport and we were coming in the other day, I said, this strangely feels like coming home.
You know, that sweet lady told us when they evacuated her to Idaho, it was the first time in 70 years she had ever been on a plane. Not the way she wanted to get there, but she said it was an experience nonetheless.
When we were down here, we've come down several times to Bay St. Louis. When we came down about a month and a half ago, I asked the mayor, Eddie Favre, what he wanted next for his town, and you had been planning this, I guess, right off the bat. You wanted a special Thanksgiving dinner for the whole community. How do you think it went? How do you describe the day?
Fantastic. It is. It's something we wanted from the beginning, thinking that this far out from August 29th that more debris would be picked up, and maybe for the first time since the storm, the people would feel comfortable leaving everything the way it is, getting away for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, coming out and enjoying it, and going back, and it's really worked wonderful. Can't say how much we appreciate it.
Mayor, when you look at the masses that have actually come here to be a part of this, how do you feel? How do you describe that?
I feel great. First thing this morning, we got up bright and early to try and help them cook, since that's one of the things we do more than mayor, and I guess. And they wouldn't let us do anything. We look out here, and there's nothing but yellow shirts, all of the volunteers from Knoxville, from Jonesboro, Arkansas, from the Calvary Chapel, all over the country, and volunteers from all over. 350, 400 volunteers. It's phenomenal. It's unbelievable.
Mayor Favre, thank you for letting us be involved, and thank you for being so strong through all this.
Thank y'all. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
An unlikely reunion across the miles today from Bay St. Louis to La Follette.
It's difficult to get phone calls in and out, so I have to drive into Bay St. Louis to get calls and to talk to people.
Marietta Murray is a teacher who lives in Bay St. Louis. Marietta's uncle lives in La Follette. Her Uncle Ron called us last night and said he hadn't heard from Marietta since before Hurricane Katrina. Today, 2 Channel 10 staffers and about a dozen volunteers fanned out to find Marietta and get her on the phone with her uncle. She was able to do so and share some exciting news with him. She's going to be a grandmother.
I mean, the idea was until people stop eating and people have trickled in and out, come and go, and you want some food?
They served Thanksgiving dinner long into the night.
We look at this day and it was a marvelous success. Our desire was that the people of Bay St. Louis would not stand in lines, but we could serve them, we could come by, and we could actually make this a special day for them.
This day was called by some of these folks, these hurricane survivors, the best day in Bay St. Louis in months.
I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it, because people tend to forget really quick.
I got one sweet and one unsweet. Is that okay? That one's unsweet, that one's sweet. People were served at their tables. No more waiting in line. Forgive me, but you're tearing up. I mean, this has really got to mean something to you.
Oh, yeah. Means a lot.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in Knoxville.
You want sweet potatoes?
Tonight, about 3,000 meals served and still counting.
To have a news network, WBIR, and the Rotary Clubs of Jonesboro, Arkansas, and the Rotary Club of Bay St. Louis, and the Calvary Chapel Relief, all working together for a couple of months to put this on, just says it all.
Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, Ted Hall, 10 News Night Beat.
We'll do it real quick.
It wasn't just Thanksgiving dinner going on today. Families who lost everything in the hurricane got something precious back. A family portrait taken when they arrived, printed and framed while they ate. The Beausarge family decided at the last second to evacuate. They got the family to safety, but lost everything.
And our house is completely gone. We can't even find it. 3 cars, 6 birds, 6 cats, and 2 dogs. We've lost everything.
Right next door to the picture tent, patients were still streaming into the medical clinic inside the depot. The clinic is staffed by doctors from Virginia and sees 80 to 90 patients every day for things like flu shots and everyday illnesses.
We're by far the busiest practice in town. Of course, we're in better shape right now than the hospital is because we didn't suffer the damage that they did.
And just a block away in this tent city are all the toys that East Tennessee donated. Right here we have the board games. And over here what we have are our version of stocking stuffers. And here, any toy imaginable. This is actually one of the toys I picked out back home in Knoxville. The parents are actually going to get to come here and pick out the Christmas toys for their kids, just a way to make their holiday a little bit brighter. In Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, Robin Wilhoit, 10 News.
And Ted and Robin will show us that toy giveaway tomorrow on Live at 5 and 10 News at 6.
At first, it felt a lot like Christmas this morning in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
It certainly did, and it's all because of all of you. This morning, toys were given out to thousands of children this morning, toys that you helped donate.
It was an emotional day. Remember that most of the kids there lost everything during Hurricane Katrina. Parents said they were grateful for your generosity because they didn't know what they were going to do for Christmas.
Incredible. Robin Wilhoit has the story of one Bay St. Louis family who, thanks to you, is going to have a very happy holiday.
Oh, darling, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas.
Let's go see, guys. Y'all get to pick a toy.
Christmas, the day after Thanksgiving for the Beausarge family. Lots and lots of toys to choose from.
Oh, what is that? Oh, man.
These kids need this?
They do. They do. They really do. I mean, just to kind of feel normal and feel like somebody's... Wait, oh my, what is it?
For this family of 6, nothing has been normal since Katrina. Like most everyone here in Bay St. Louis, they lost everything. They just found out their insurance won't cover their destroyed home.
We were worried about what we do for them for Christmas. Now this helps out a whole lot.
Liz and Lee say their children are their greatest gifts. They adopted Matthew just 1 week before Katrina. MJ, Macy, and Nene are their foster children.
You know, we lost everything, but we still have them. So it's been tough, but, you know, we really feel worse for them because, you know, they look for something, oh, it floated away or whatever.
Oh, a styling head. Do you like Barbie?
And you had one of those, huh? And floated away. Nene. Oh, look. I think we'll get this for Nene.
Did you find something, buddy?
All right, let's go, man.
All right, let's go.
MJ, Matthew, come on.
The Beausarges say if Katrina taught them anything, it's the true meaning of Christmas.
And I feel like the people who have given of their lives and their time and their gifts to us really show us what Christmas is all about.
Oh, boy. To see all those toys donated and to see them actually given out like that is something else.
I think that it meant a lot to them. I think it meant to a lot of people here.
To us, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
people were coming up to me all day. I was at the mall earlier and saying, when do those kids get those toys? When do we get to see it? So I think people were looking forward to seeing that.
Very cool.
Thousands of kids also received shiny bikes.
So let's get started. We have 40 bikes to give away. The first winning number is...
This was also part of Kids Fest. They had a drawing for 40 bicycles donated by the Jonesboro, Arkansas Rotary Club. The bikes were refurbished by a club member who put on new baskets and new paint to make them just about as good as new for the kids.
I don't got that much stuff, but now I do.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too.
That is just one of the many children down in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, helped by your generosity.
Last week, folks from the WBIR newsroom headed down to Bay St. Louis to spend Thanksgiving with hurricane victims and bring them a very early Christmas.
And leading the way were two familiar faces to you, Ted Hall and Robin Wellhoy, and it was excellent coverage. And for me, watching at home, it was touching and emotional, but I can't imagine what it must have been like for you guys.
It was touching and emotional. It really just to talk to these people and to realize what they've been through the last couple of months and to actually see smiles on their face and really just have a day that they can enjoy themselves, because leading up to this there has not been that much time, because obviously they've been consumed with trying to get their lives back in order.
And you served Thanksgiving, and then the day after was really cool.
The day after was unbelievable, because these kids, most of these kids lost almost all their toys. Almost every one of the children that we talked to had one or two or no toys because the hurricanes washed them all away. The little boy who said, I don't have too much, but now I do, he had just one toy, and his house was gone. He was living with somebody else, and he was so excited to get anything at all. And there were so many kids just like that, so it meant so much, and it meant so much to these people down there. I think that's why it seemed so emotional, it's because it was really, truly, deeply emotional.
I was so excited because there's a little girl, she had gotten one of those Barbie styling heads. She was so excited because I was talking to her mom, she goes, oh yeah, that got washed away in the floods too.
Is
and I'm
that
like,
right?
She was so excited to have that Barbie.
Building the relationship that you all did, it must have been kind of hard to come home, to leave those folks. I mean, I know you were excited to come back to your families here for Thanksgiving, but leaving must have been a little difficult.
You know, I think the more you go down there and the more you meet with some of the same people down there, the mayor for one, the more you continue to feel for them. But they've got a lot of strong people down there, and they are pushing forward. Needless to say, it's going to take a long time. But speaking of the mayor, though, what a guy. He dressed up like Santa Claus, and apparently right before he was going to start the toy drive.
A big speech on a microphone in front of a couple thousand people.
He broke up.
He choked up.
He did. And that just goes to show this man has been feeling it for months now.
And people from here have really, really made him happy, and that was nice.
We talked a little bit about this off air, but Bay St. Louis, I didn't know about it before the hurricane, to be honest with you. I went down there and I thought, boy, this must have been a cool place before.
I think we've got a couple of pictures. Yeah, we're going to show you, first of all, where that's the site that you folks are probably used to. That's Beachfront Road right there, and the beach to your right. And these are stores on your left, and restaurants and bars and things like that. And that's just devastation right there. And you would figure that was the first wall to the left of your TV screen on Robin's side there. You would figure that's actually where the stores began and that sort of thing. But take a look at what it used to look like.
Wow. Everything to our right is absolutely gone.
All that stuff is gone. All the grass, there's a hill there that's before you get to the water. Most of that road is gone. I'm not sure if you can see what looks like a little red car and a blue pickup. We were sitting essentially between those two. Everything on the right has been totally wiped out. And of course the things on the left are all gutted and destroyed, and there's destruction for miles. But the Good Life Lounge, for instance, right there, not a stitch of it left.
They actually had a makeshift little bar set up out on the beach.
Yeah, some leftover parts that they found from all over.
Trying to put it somewhat back together.
Yeah, just so they could have some sense of normalcy down there.
Well, we're glad you guys are back.
Thank you.
Excellent
Thank you.
job.
I'm glad that East Tennessee helped us out so much, because they were so happy with what we were able to give them. It was fantastic.
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks, guys.